Доброго дня, українці.
Dear Ukrainians, Russian propaganda seems to have no limits. Every day new fakes, new degradation, completely new fictional stories. Each time they appear more and more by the best students of Goebbels. In fact, the key fake is Russian President Vladimir Putin. To show that he's open to communication, to explain his position, he held a meeting with the stewardesses of the Aeroflot airline, which now cannot fly anywhere because airspace has been closed for Russia. But it turned out that the whole story is fictional fake. Putin himself was recorded with the help of chroma key, a special green background on which any image can be superimposed. And this became known when everyone noticed that Putin's hand was passing through the microphone. We have everything real, and therefore we took a flash mob of real communication mode. This video is fake. Putin is sitting alone. You can see it if you take a look closely at the reflection in the teapot. There are no flight attendants around him. What Putin talked about there, we will not even dwell on it. This is propaganda and absolute fake spread by the Russian state to justify its aggressive war against Ukraine. Another technology of Putin's propaganda is to make symmetrical stuffing. For example, Ukraine reports that the Russian army bombed the 25th Lyceum in Zhytomyr. This footage was spread all over the world. After that, Russians used their propaganda resources to make symmetrical message. They say that Ukraine bombed a school in Donetsk. There is no evidence for this. Ukraine reports that 4 Russian planes, 5 planes, 6 planes were shot down, after Russian propaganda says 4 Ukrainian planes were shot down. Unlike Putin, we have video evidence of how Stinger gets into Russian helicopter, and we know exactly who did it. This helicopter was shot down by Valery Grus, who has been fighting since 2014 in the famous Black Cossacks unit. And the cameraman who filmed these historical shots is the former MP, Igor Leshchenko. We can, unlike Russian propaganda, prove that this is Russian combat helicopter shot by the Ukrainian army forces. To explain their loss, they try to tell absolute nonsense, for example, about the fact that Ukraine doesn't make its videos in real life, but on a video simulator in order to create a fake reality. Such footage followed in Russian propaganda TV resources. Another example of propaganda, when Valery Solovyov, one of the Goebbels of Russian propaganda, shows hysterical footage of Ukrainians gathering under the destroyed bridge in Irpin near Kyiv. He says the armed forces of Ukraine do not allow evacuation from the destroyed city. What happened in reality? Ukrainian trains of Ukrzaliznytsia were sent to Irpin to evacuate civilians, but the tracks were blown up. The cars derailed, no one was hurt because there were empty cars. People had to evacuate on foot, and the air raid began. Civilians gathered under the bridge. They created humanitarian catastrophe, destroyed the city. Then they say that Ukraine doesn't allow civilians to be evacuated. That is, they create problems. And that is, they blame us for it. Another lie is that Ukraine holds foreign students. It's fake. I know that Indians, students from Kharkiv were evacuated, or in that way Turkish students were evacuated from Nigeria. This is a huge humanitarian catastrophe that the Russian dictator has created on Ukrainian territory. But the Ukrainian railways, the Ukrainian armed forces save both Ukrainians and foreign citizens equally, with all possible efforts. Finally, one more fake. They say that the president of Ukraine left Ukraine, that he's not in Kyiv. We know this is a lie. But now they are calling to return Yanukovych to authority. One of these messages was abandoned by Kadyrov. Ukrainians, keep calm, stay committed to the interest of Ukraine. Listen only to Ukrainian sources of information. Do not panic, do not react to information, fakes and propaganda campaigns that the enemy is deploying. Glory to Ukraine.